Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I did a tech review. Guy at work wanted a small, lighter laptop that had touch capabilities on it. So we like to use the Dell Outlet whenever possible for personal machines. We have the Dell Inspiron 11 3148 Touch today. We'll just run down some of the quick specs and likes and dislikes from checking this out over the last couple of weeks. Our dimensions in inches, because this is America. 11.81 inches long, 7.91 inches wide by 0.74 inches thick. The scale, this weighs 3 pounds and 1 ounce. Standard 43 watt hour 3-cell battery. It's internal, can be replaced. 65 watt Dell charger. It uses the mini connector, not the standard Dell charger. The chassis on this is like the other 3000 series laptops that I've reviewed in the last year and a half or so. It's mainly all plastic, and there's a decent amount of flex to it, whether in the LCD or the chassis. Here's the, you can see the flex there in the LCD, and then the flex there in the palm rest. When it's on a flat surface, it's not too bad. As I mentioned, this is a 2-in-1, so it's got to have strong hinges because you're going to be rotating it back on top of itself. It has they're firm and smooth throughout the entire range of motion. So that's a positive thing. That way we know they're going to last. As far as under the hood specs, this is a 4th generation Intel Core i3 4030U at 1.9 gigahertz. The lesser models have a Celeron dual core and Pentium quad core available. This has the Intel HD Graphics 4400, obviously no discrete card. It has one slot for DDR3 low voltage. 4 gig is standard. You can go to 8. This particular model has a 500 gigabyte 5400 RPM SATA drive. Definitely, if you're going to use this for some serious use, pick up a super cheap SSD for it. It has an 11.6 inch 1366 by 768 IPS touchscreen with a wide viewing angle. All the different situations that we mess with it in, you can see the screen fairly well. At wide angles, you didn't get any blurring from over brightness or anything. It has a Dell Wireless 1708 BGN card with Bluetooth 4.0. Has a 1 megapixel front facing camera with dual microphones. Very large touchpad. Still not a fan of the touchpad with the integrated keys because sometimes you don't really know where the separation is. I would prefer separate keys like on the business latitudes, but that's just nitpicking. Came with Windows 8.1 Home originally. I did the upgrade to Windows 10. As far as external ports and peripherals, on the left side we have our speaker, we have our headphone jack, we have the USB 2.0, we have one USB 3.0 with the, I think it's called Power Save, to where you can charge USB devices off this port when the laptop's off. HDMI 1.4a, your Dell charging port. On the rear, here's your exhaust fan slot. On the right, you have your security slot, your SD card slot, another USB 2, another speaker, your volume buttons, your power button. On the front, you have a charging / power indicator light there. You do have a Windows home key for tablet mode. It does not vibrate. Of course, here's your webcam, your indicator light, and your 2 microphones. Has the chiclet style keyboard. For whatever reason, the lowest model has a backlit keyboard, but this model does not. for whatever reason. Because this is a 2-in-1, this will operate in essentially 4 different modes. You have your laptop mode, you have a tent mode, you have your tablet mode, disables the touchpad and keyboard when it's in this mode, and you also have the tablet stand mode where you can do this and have its own stand. The rear cover is held on with 9 Phillips screws. So here's our under the hood. Here's our plastic cover. You may need a little spatula to get it off. This cover's held on here pretty tightly. I have a nice piece of copper heatsink tape here to help draw the heat away from the CPU. Got the magnets here to help attach the lid. Here's your single DDR slot. Here's your CPU with your little heatsink and your little tiny fan. Here's your wireless card. Here's your hard drive. There are 2 screws that hold it in the chassis for replacement. Here's your internal battery. Like I said, you can swap it out. Speakers. Not too much to see under here. Like I mentioned, here's the little connector for the keyboard backlight. You know, like I said, I don't get why the highest model doesn't have that, but it's not really too big of a deal. Heat is primarily centered right around here. When you're using it for extended periods of times, in the top and bottom you can feel it around the 5 and 6 keys on the keyboard. It doesn't seem to radiate through the entire machine, which is a good thing. As far as Windows 10 goes, it's a mix for me between 7 and 8. I'm glad the live tile start menu is gone, back to the traditional one. But there are some new things that I'm going to have to get used to that, you know, playing with it for a week on a non-daily machine, then it'll take me a little while. As far as stability goes, the unit hasn't crashed and the transition to 10 was smooth. I haven't had any dropped wireless connections that I've read quite a bit of problems with some of the other machines that have been upgraded to Windows 10. Battery life. I think they've quoted something really stupid high on this, like 14 hours or something. Real life with Wi-Fi use, playing around with YouTube, Windows reports at 100%. It's a little over 4.5 hours, and this seems to hold true. It's got about 47 minutes left with battery saver on, 11% right now. I've been messing with it for a while. As far as the 2-in-1 goes, as a little laptop, it's solid. It has magnets in the lid and top cover to keep it closed. So there's a nice close there. As a folded over tablet, it's a little fat in your hands. I mean, you've got 3/4 of an inch to deal with there. There's no retention device on the underside of the base, so the lid flops around a little bit from the chassis while it's in tablet mode. I really like to see some kind of solution there to where it's solid one piece, so it's not doing that in your hands. If you pick one of these up from the outlet like I did, make sure the touchpad driver is installed. Otherwise it won't shut the touchpad off when you flip it over into tablet mode. First thing I noticed when I was messing with it in tablet mode, I'm like, why is the mouse moving? And common problem, apparently the guys at the outlet don't install a touchpad driver. The screen has a nice little rubberized edge on it, so if you do set it screen side down on your table, it's going to be protected. It also has little rubber feet in a couple of places, so when you do the stand mode, you're not resting it on the palm rest. The speakers on this also are nice and loud as well. They're on the side, and you would think you couldn't hear them very well, but at 100%, You definitely can definitely hear them. All in all, for the $385 we paid for this from the Dell Outlet with a coupon, I'd give this a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's still Dell's entry-level 3000 series laptop, and I'm not a fan of all the chassis flex and everything. But the touch screen works good, the system is responsive, and it has good performance. So if you're looking for one of these little 2-in-1s, I know they offer a 13-inch model of this as well. Until next time, thanks for watching, everybody.